Hello, this is John Miller, the creator of The Rest of Everest. I think I can safely say that this show is, without a doubt, the most in-depth look into the entire experience of what it takes to climb Everest, as well as some other peaks throughout the Himalayas. But all of the events in this series are shown in chronological order, so if you're new to the show, please go all the way back to episode 000 and watch everything in order. That's truly the best way to enjoy it. Thanks. Well, we're just 3 months away from heading to Nepal and Tibet for the Everest 2010 workshop and trek, and we still have some space available on the team. We're really wanting to have a fully booked trip, and so we're locking in a discounted workshop price for everyone, which will save you $500. This really is a once-in-a-lifetime adventure, and if you've been enjoying these recent episodes of the show, then consider joining us and experiencing it all firsthand. Interested? Well, email me directly or register through our online form at everestthetrek.com. Hope to meet a few more of you in person, and I can't wait to see everyone who's already on the team.
This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 126, A Death in the Family.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the Rest of Everest. I'm John Miller. Same large group this week as we had last week, so it's the entire group. I'll just go on the list. It's Megan, Kyle, Jeff, Andy, Steve Wolf, Tilo, Steve Beatty, John Coleman, and John Farah. So happy to have all of you back on the show with me this week. We are missing Chris and Monica. Hopefully they'll be able to join us next week. Actually, I'm fairly certain they'll be on with us next week, because next week will probably just be the three of us doing commentary. But this week's episode, as I alluded to last week, we get a real taste of the tragedy that can surround Everest when we hear of a death that actually strikes really close to home, certainly with our staff, but really was shocking to me when we did hear about the death. But I'll explain, hopefully in this episode, just how it was really enlightening as well. And I hope all of you find it a sort of educational thing about the culture out there, because it really, I found the whole thing pretty fascinating. So hopefully there'll be time in this episode to explain just why. So we do an acclimatization hike on this day, so I'd say let's go ahead and get back up to Dingboche and start this week's episode. So here we go. We just do around here and around there. So, you know, a lot of people were wondering just how we charged our batteries all the time, and actually, you know, I ended up buying a car battery in Kathmandu, which was pretty amazing because Kathmandu is experiencing rolling blackouts all the time. There's just not enough hydropower to provide electricity to the entire country, so they black parts of the country out, even Kathmandu, for sometimes 16 hours at a time. And so all the stores and homes, they run everything off of these batteries with inverters. So batteries were really hard to come by. But I have a friend in Tamil named Michelle, who she and her husband really hooked me up with this battery. And I got a really good deal on it too. But unfortunately, my porter, Pasang Dawa, he carried the battery on his back with all of the rest of my gear. Pretty amazing. But ironically enough, we didn't actually need the battery all that much, because most of the places we stayed did have the ability to charge for us.
John, didn't he have to run it up to base camp for charging one day too?
Yep. There wasn't any charging in Gorak Shep available to us, so I forget who it was. I think it was Cheery.
Yeah, it was Cheery.
He ran it up to base camp, literally ran it up to base camp.
And it took
like
him 45 minutes. Yeah.
45
it took us 6 hours to get up there, and he did it in 45.
and they're not exaggerating, everyone. That is the truth.
That's why we had such a difficult time with Sherpa time, because their Sherpa time was very short and ours was very long.
It truly was.
So, wasn't Michelle one of your podcast listeners? Is that where you met her?
Yep. Michelle found the show, and she happens to own a shop in Tamil, right outside of New Orleans Cafe, our favorite restaurant there.
Yeah, most of us, I think, had the opportunity to meet her.
Yeah, Michelle's great.
Yeah, that was cool.
A little high-altitude electrical engineering.
Everything's already always kind of rigged together. Until everything's cold here because the wires don't have a lot of flexibility in them right now.
This is not OSHA approved.
But, it definitely is a reality of being out there. If you're going to go out with a lot of technology, or even, a lot of high technology is just, still cameras. So, all the digital cameras, they need batteries to function. So how do you solve that when
How long is that battery's going to hold up?
you're out in places without any power lines? Not really. It should be several hours though under a full load. I'm hoping. They wanted to sell me a much larger battery that was going to last for like 6.5 hours, running a small little dorm style refrigerator and a whole bunch of lights. Basically, it would run an entire shop in Tamel, but we just didn't need that much power. So hopefully we'll get enough to charge these. What?
One of us would have used a doll, I think.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it was this wide. I saw it. It was this wide. It was this deep and not tall.
So
and I didn't want. Someone would have carried that.
Now that we have power, can I finally break out my blow dryer?
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to pull rank and say no. Your curling iron will be okay with me, though, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, John. I don't think a curling iron's going to do me any good at this point in time.
Andy, I'm gonna have to agree with you.
It's like, this is called hat here, and it's not even halfway through the trek.
That's so stylish, though.
We used to have a rule when I was in the field when we had days like this that you had to keep your hat on so you would not offend the others.
See, the thing is, though, I happen to find the whole like hat head and just the fact that the people might not look necessarily street ready or very fresh, but I think everyone looks cooler out here because they're doing something that's not typical by most of the world's standards and takes a lot of effort, and I find that much more interesting. Sort of a badge of experience.
You can't capture the odor, though.
Maybe in a episode or season 10 of the show, maybe we can actually get smell-o-vision.
I was thinking that.
Scratch and sniff podcast.
As I've mentioned before, though, all that windproof clothing, it works in both directions.
That's a good thing.
Until you start taking those layers off as we descended back down.
You missed it.
Oh, that was
There's
our
our
snowball fight.
outhouse to the right.
Oh, so that's what you were talking about. See, I didn't know. I wasn't part of it. I was like, what is Megan talking about? You guys had a snowball fight, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
It's actually one of my favorite memories of the trek, actually.
But until Jeff got nailed in the face with one.
Yeah, and he yelled at us.
Don't get angry.
I think I've forgotten that.
That wasn't your favorite moment from the trek, Jeff?
It was a forgotten moment, memory, I guess.
Ja, ich und die Berge.
Ask me what I'm doing here.
Yeah, what are you doing there, John? So here we are in the acclimatization hike, and we're probably about 1,000 feet above the valley floor there.
I think this was the highest most of us had ever been at that point in time.
Oh, yeah.
But you can see the weather is not optimal, and it does only get worse. Did Chris teach a little workshop up here? I can't remember.
No, I think Chris was too winded at the time.
Yeah, I think he did a workshop, a Lightroom workshop in the tea house.
Oh, that's right. Okay. But you can see the clouds are kind of getting more ominous. But you can see how far down the teahouse is and everything. It's quite a ways down there.
So we were about another 900 feet or so up from the valley, I think.
But this is, it's one of the important things. When you're taking rest days, you don't want to totally just kick back and not move. You definitely want to keep trying to acclimatize, because when you're on one of these treks, you don't have the time to acclimatize to your highest destination. In our case, it was 17,500 or above 18,000 feet for some of the groups. So you just try to do as much as you can. All right, I'm gonna just explain what's going on here because it's a little bit hard to hear. But that's that first handshake was our friend Dawa, the cook from the 2003 expedition, and he had just gotten radio news from base camp that Tendi, he's our leader. You've heard us talk about him with the orange pack. And we just discovered that his brother died several hours earlier this day. And it was pretty shocking. So Dawa was down there with a client trying to rest up, and so he was able to come up here and tell Tendi that your brother was just he just died, and he was up high. And so all of these guys here, they're going to go retrieve his body. And the reason I said it was most tragic is because he didn't die from the altitude. He died from drinking poisoned alcohol that people were buying in Lukla.
It was methanol, which is basically rubbing alcohol, and is poisonous as opposed to ethanol, which is your drinking alcohol.
What happened? The information is not clear yet. Okay. So after we're going down, we will get right information.
Is Tendi on his way to base camp now?
Yes, Tendi and some Sherpa will go. Okay. So from tomorrow, another Sherpa will leave.
Okay. When did you find out?
Just now. So that's why the Tendi. Tendi. Back.
That is crap news.
Yes.
What happened?
So his brother is a high altitude cook. That means his brother is cooking food above 7,000, 6,000 meters.
So he goes up to the base camp.
You can see the expression of shock on all our faces.
Camp 3 over there. Yes.
That's advanced base camp.
Yeah.
Nothing specific so far. You don't know if he fell or...
No, nothing specific. The message is just come over here, so Tendi just go over there, and he will directly go up over there.
Sure.
Yes. Okay, guys, let's move.
It's not good.
So we won't have an opportunity to say goodbye to him?
He will go right now.
He'll go right now, okay.
On the way.
We'll meet. Okay.
This is such a sad thing.
It shows you the stuff that can happen up here.
When I was in the museum at Namche, I saw all of the sherpas on the wall, and I would say maybe 10% of them said died Annapurna, died here. It's a dangerous business being a climbing Sherpa. It's a very dangerous business. They work hard. That's too bad. If I don't get a chance to speak to him personally, let's please express my condolences. He's a good man.
And the thing is that I expected him to be, like he was basically gone. But they went up and they were able to retrieve his body. They brought him back down to a town just below Dingboche, where there was a lama who was able to pray over him. Because as I don't totally know the specifics, but in their culture, the body, your soul sort of hangs out in your body after you die for a few days, and you need to take the body to a lama so they can pray over it and kind of help your spirit, move on to the next life. And so they were able to do that. They were able to get this brother down there, and they cremated him on the side of a river, and after that, Tendi came back and he was totally fine.
Wow. That was nice.
Did you see the snowman this morning?
The anatomically partially accurate snowman.
I have don't understand how can they make some cookies in the high amplitude.
It truly is amazing what they can do. Yeah, and you know that cake there was probably cooked in a pot. Wow. It's probably cooked in a pressure cooker. And it was delicious.
I think it was still warm when we got it.
Mm-hmm. Not exactly sure what the plan is this morning because it snowed all last night. The tent, even though it's been shaken off a couple times so far this morning, it's only about 10 to 7 in the morning right now. We may or may not be hiking today because they don't ever seem to want us to really hike when it's snowing out. So how do you feel about hiking in the in a snowstorm today?
I will trust whatever Sanam decides is best, of course. I mean, this would certainly not be the worst weather I've ever been out in, but the last time I was out in this kind of snow and junk, I also had, crampons and an ice axe and, proper mountaineering gear. A bunch of people in hiking boots trying to go through this stuff. It could get kind of treacherous. So, you have to worry about people's safety. So,
and probably had about 8,000 feet of elevation difference below.
Big difference. Yeah.
I believe John's talking about Mount Washington in New Hampshire, which is known for some of the worst weather in the world, but certainly has weather worse than the Himalayas at times.
Yes.
But it's just, when you're up this high, and we're up over 14,000 feet certainly right now, it makes a difference.
Your brain just doesn't work as fast. So,
and you don't warm up as quickly when you do get the opportunity to warm up. So I guess we'll find out. Luckily for me, I did most of my packing last night. So all I have to do is throw my sleeping bag in my duffel bag and then toss the rest of my little plastic Ziploc bags full of snacks and whatnot in there, and then I can go off to the internet cafe because we're still trying to get the damn satellite phone working. We're on day 12 now. Still don't have it working properly, so it's unreal.
Nein, das ist nicht getürkt, das ist echt. I say it's real.
It's real. You can see how much snow we got.
Look, in the high.
Oh!
Whoa! Good one.
That's what I was trying to show last week. Because one of those nailed me pretty well.
I think everybody got nailed by one at some point. I have to say, trudging to the outhouse in this snow was kind of an unusual experience.
Definitely outdoors. Look at those tents. They're not even green anymore.
They're not green. I don't know if it was this morning. It might have been this morning that I'm walking by the outhouse and I hear Chris's voice, and he has run out of supplies, so I had to replenish his supplies. It's not going to be a good scene for him.
No.
The sherpa watches his socket.
Here's I was mentioning this to the group. This is a time lapse I did where the camera was right next to the outhouse, and I was a little bit afraid what sounds I might have recorded, but didn't record anything.
I actually enjoyed this day. I loved having the snow on the ground like this.
That was definitely beautiful, and I'm actually looking at Lhotse there, but you can't see it.
And we're snowed in at the moment. So
It's been snowing for 2 days now, straight.
2 days. Yeah, we played a lot of Phase 10. That was fun.
All right. What is Phase 10?
It is a very fun, very competitive card game.
How does it work? Give me the rules.
It's like Rummy, It's a different
Okay, for
version.
those who don't know rummy,
Okay, so
explain it to me.
Okay, you have to make sets and phases of cards. A set being 3 or more of the same card, or sets and runs, and a run being like 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, and so on. It has to be at least 3, it can be more. And there are 10 phases, which is why it's called phase 10, and 10 cards per person, and up to 10 people can play. So there's a theme.
Okay.
You didn't mention, Megan, that it's addictive. It's as addictive as crack to most of the group.
Yes, I'll second that.
The first phase is 2 sets of
The amazing thing is that the Sherpas pick it up so quickly.
And once you put those
No, I think they ended up winning all the games.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's not complicated.
You know, last week we mentioned that Tilo was the hero for bringing Nutella. Megan was the hero for bringing phase 10.
By the way, how do I look? Okay.
Yeah. Can I see if my hair is greasy?
It is. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah,
Please don't worry about
it's greasy.
Thanks, Andy.
No worries. We all have greasy hair.
Yeah, it's okay.
We're invoking the hat rule from
It's
this point on.
the Greasy Hair Club.
What a scrumpy lot we were.
The beard shot of Steve and of Jeff to see how their beards look at the end of the trip.
Oh,
Yeah.
you blew up your cheeks?
Yeah, I was trying to show off.
Okay, what does your beard look
growth
like right now?
It's coming in pretty thick. I can actually see it when I look down. I can see my mustache.
The thing that's weird is there's so few mirrors up there that we would sometimes go days at a time without seeing ourselves.
Yeah.
That was a good thing, actually.
Yeah, probably for the best, yeah.
But it is surprisingly odd, isn't it? You're so used to seeing yourselves all the time.
Okay, let me do a quick assessment here. Photographers' beards.
I can see.
Okay. Okay.
I can see in focus.
Okay. And oh yeah, wait. Kyle, but he had sort of a goatee anyway before he started, right? And here's mine. Here we go. So that's what you get after a few days of hiking and not shaving. So
We are going to end up spending another day in Dingboche. The snow, as you can probably tell, it's still falling. It's extremely bright though, so that's good. Hopefully things are lightening up a little bit, meaning the cloud layer is getting a little bit thinner. But we are, John Coleman and I are here at the, it's kind of called the Sherpa Net. It's a little internet, I'm not going to say cafe, but it's just a little internet hut, and they've got really stable internet access. It's very expensive, as you would expect. It's all powered by the gas or petrol out here, as it's called, power generator that you can hear in the background. But I couldn't. It's very possible that my Inmarsat DGAN internet satellite terminal might be working perfectly, but I can't seem to penetrate the clouds right now. And so the antenna and the transmitter is very small compared to this one. So here's going to get some shots here of what the Sherpa Net looks like, and it's just great. And I'm trying to remember the man's name who owns it. I'll have to get it in a second here, but he's really nice, and he's not only is he happy to have the business, I think he's happy to have the company, because not only is it a little room where you can access, I think, up to 6 laptops at once, it's also his bedroom, so he likes the company. So here's his setup.
And it was very loud.
Yes, it was. But that really is the only way to go. Solar just, it works a little bit, but if you need power, you gotta have a generator. Especially solar didn't work for us really at all.
What was your name again?
Gelbo.
Gelbo?
Yes, Gelbo.
That's right, yes. Jeff Coe and I came here last night, so we know him well, and because of the storm, again, since I can't make it through the clouds for transmit, we're going to bring him a lot of business today.
Yeah, he was fat and happy after we left.
How's it working for you, John?
Working pretty well.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. It's amazing we can get any connectivity this far up in the Himalayas, so, you know. Never cease to be amazed by technology. Sure, it's nice to be able to get back in touch with home, you know. I was kind of a little bit there yesterday afternoon. I was kind of having that missing home feeling for a little bit, so this is nice to be able to get back in touch with some people for a little bit.
Absolutely.
So, good stuff.
I sit here and in the morning time and evening time I have customer, different kind of people come here, so they are very pleased to running internet here, and most of the people complain about network, but
most complain about the network?
Yeah, but I don't think so, because we have good service, and some of them says here is a good connection, so they are very happy that they can connect at the altitude of 4,300 in Dingboche to their country. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, one of the things that becomes very common around here is that people complain. I think it's a very Western thing. Just complain about everything. And like John and I here are just really excited that we can get service of any kind up here. So when we get it, and we're able to just even just to read a simple email. We're not downloading movies or anything. we're not buying songs on the iTunes store. But just be able to stay in communication, just basic communication. That's the best part. So it just seems it's so easy for some people to just complain about everything, and they come up here and they expect the same kind of service that they would get at their house using broadband internet. It's not the same, and it's not going to be the same. But he has a very good service. It doesn't drop. We don't get disconnected. It's not lightning fast, but it's very usable, and I'm sure it's very expensive for you. And whenever you come in, he fires the generator right up. We wait for the bunch of green lights on the router there to connect, or on the terminal there to connect. And then it works. So yeah, we're very happy. You gotta. Everything's relative up here. You gotta take the good with the good and the bad with the bad. But this is definitely part of good. So thanks for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, sure. But also remember that the generator and all the fuel for the generator has to be hand carried up here. Everything here was hand carried up. It wasn't brought up on a truck. So that adds to the cost, and everything is hand carried. So that all has to be kept in perspective. That if he runs out of fuel, when you run out of fuel, do you have to go? Do you walk down and get more, or do you have a friend who can bring it up for you?
We bring from Kathmandu, and it's difficult to bring here.
But on a porter.
On the porter, yeah. We bring. Sometimes we drop in a Dingboche through helicopter, and that is easier for us. But because aeroplane doesn't carry the fuel, so we bring here through helicopter. Anyway, we are very happy. Our satisfaction, customer satisfaction is our motto.
Great. Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
And also nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Gelbu is his name, and he's a friend of mine on Facebook.
Oh, no kidding. I think I bought like 4 Mars bars from him too.
Mars bars.
Okay, so we're right in the middle of the experiment of trying to reignite the oven. That is, that's a burning yak poop, which doesn't smell. It's just nice and warm when it's burning. but it sort of went out. So we're trying to reignite it with, I think the help of a bit of kerosene and a match, which yesterday made for a nice effect. So we'll try that again, I guess.
Note the kerosene's in the Pringles can.
Yes.
It was the best documented fire making.
Yeah, you can see John there filming. I think I'm filming and Chris is filming.
They're coming back with some more stuff in a minute. I've really not sure, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras pointing, 5 cameras pointing towards that oven now, 6 cameras pointing towards that oven now, and if that really is gonna blow up in any way,
this is what happens when you're stuck inside
yes.
on a snowy day and you're bored out of your skull.
Yes, and actually that's what we are. We had planned to hike on towards Everest Base Camp this morning, but it's been snowing all night long, and it is still snowing, and it's just too dangerous to go. And also all the teams above us on the other camps are not moving along. So, oh, wait a minute. We will have to turn around again. Action, action, action. Oh, this is so exciting. Man, anything is exciting.
Watch Kyle get out of the way.
This may be the highlight of the day.
Okay, careful.
I thought I was getting my camera.
Careful. What? More.
Oh, well done.
Careful.
You'll notice that the fire guys here are the 2 youngest staff members.
Okay, this might do the trick.
The only one's foolish enough.
Is it going to? Wow.
Just pours it on.
Okay. Not as much of an explosion as we had hoped for, but
it still deserves a round of applause.
Whoa, well done, guys. Well done. Okay. There's still a slight chance for the oven to explode.
I've prepaid for the first 10 minutes of everyone's internet access. Woo. So if you go over, you need to pay, but that should give you enough time to check a few emails if you don't need to do any more than that. Yeah. You'll come? Okay.
I just need to go. I need to go.
Are you gonna take?
Okay. Okay. So it's gonna be the Wolves and Tilo.
Okay. Are you gonna take me later on?
I'm just gonna take them up there. I'm gonna come right back. Yeah, it was constantly trying to get these guys the ability to update Twitter and Facebook and upload photos to Flickr if possible, and so I'm always struggling to get everything done. But yeah, having that internet access was really nice. I know some people, I think John Coleman in particular was saying it was nice to be completely unplugged for a while, but we were on this trip for 3 weeks, and so yeah, it's definitely nice to be unplugged for some of it, but then some of it you're just like, I want to tell my friends and family that I'm having fun. So.
Yeah, at some point you get homesick and want to have a little touch of home, so yeah.
We definitely were also, as Andy mentioned, we were bored out of our brain, and actually before this episode, we recorded this episode, the commentary here, we were kind of talking about how some of this can seem extremely boring when I'm editing it, and then put the commentary in, and it actually can be kind of interesting. And Andy was saying that I can make anything seem interesting, and actually John Coleman and I up at Base Camp, you'll see that we're debating doing an entire episode on applying suntan lotion to your face.
I remember that well.
And, yeah, I think we were getting a little bit loopy from the altitude, but hopefully this wasn't too boring. Next week we're going to have another boring episode, so I'm excited to show that to all of you. And just before we do leave this one episode, though, I hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more of this in the future. But what I didn't get to say from when we found out about Tendi's brother is that his primary concern was getting his brother to a lama to have them pray over his brother, because his primary concern was that his brother's spirit was able to move on. And the perception of death in this part of the world is very different than what we feel in the West, and that as soon as his brother had the lama pray over him and they cremated his body and put his ashes into the river, Tendi, from all outward appearance, was fine. Like, that was his main concern. Death out there isn't the end. and it's just, I find it fascinating. I mean, all of you probably noticed it as well. Just not this sense of, finality. As soon as, his brother's spirit was able to move on, Tendi was pretty much good to go, and he rejoins us, and it's as if nothing ever happened. And I don't think it's because he didn't care for his brother. I think that's just how it is out there. Did you guys find the same thing?
Well, that circle of life is, that's what it is. It's a circle.
It just pretty amazing. Unfortunately, though, that the poisoned or the alcohol that was consumed, it ended up hitting a bunch of Sherpas out there, and I forget whether 6 people died or 6 people were affected, but they were definitely a real tragedy. So I'm glad that we were able to document it to show that this kind of thing does happen out there. It's incredibly unfortunate, but what I took away from it was just how beautiful it was to see that group of men walking off into the distance towards base camp to go retrieve a body. It was just haunting, but they all have each other's back. They were all there to help Tendi out and his family. It's just really a sense of community out there. So, all right. Well, next week, the next episode at least, we do get the phone working. So, as you've probably been seeing in the preview here, that we do spend a bunch of time talking on the phone, so hopefully it will be more exciting than it sounds like. But thanks so much, everyone. Really appreciate you being here, and look forward to the next recording session with all of you. And I guess we'll just see you then. So bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Always a pleasure, John.
Bye-bye, and Happy New Year again.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every day, and watching the show has become a part of many people's weekly routine. The show will always be free to download, but it's by no means free to produce. Please help me cover my costs by making a small monthly or one-time donation from the right sidebar on my website, and in return I'll give you some cool bonus materials. A donation of any amount will grant you access to some interesting video content, including high-definition versions of several podcast episodes. A one-time donation of $25 or more, or any of the monthly donation options, will additionally grant you access to a downloadable version of the film Everest: The Other Side, which episodes 1 to 61 are based on. I really cannot express how vital these donations are, and if you've made a donation, thank you so much. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywoo.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.